I'm going to do a video on proportions and how to solve proportions using cross multiplication. And here we go. So it says Woodstock and Sardi's are 12 miles apart from each other. I have a map with a scale of 2 centimeters to 3 miles. How far apart are the two towns on my map? So here's the key deal. The key here is this. You need to write two fractions. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at what I have. I have 12 miles. I have a scale of 2 centimeters to 3 miles. This is how far apart are the two towns on my map. So I'm going to on my map. So let's see what I know. I'm going to start with my scale. I'm going to say scale. And if you want, you can write down centimeters over miles over on the side. And that way, if you want, you don't have to write things with your numbers. But I sometimes like to write down 2 centimeters and 3 miles. I'm going to write down. So anyway, now I have 12 miles here. Since my centimeters are in the numerator, I don't know how far that is. It's going to be my x centimeters. I know that I have 12 miles down here. Now, once we have that, the second step is to cross multiply. 3 times x is 3x. 2 times 12 is 24. After you multiply, then you're going to divide. I don't want 3x's, I just want 1x. So I'm going to divide 3x divided by 3 is just x equals 8. Now, you're not actually done. It says, how far apart are the two towns on my map? The answer is not 8, it's actually 8 centimeters. And that's all it is. The key is this. You have to make sure that if you put the centimeters in the numerator, that everything is centimeters. And if you put miles in the denominator, everything's miles. So we're going to move on to the second question. It says, I was standing by a tree. My height is about 60 inches. I measured my shadow to be 42 inches. I want to know the height of the tree, so I measure the tree's shadow. So once again, if you're not very good at this, because you're just learning how to do it, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to draw a picture. I'm going to be my shadow here. And this would be my height. Then I'm going to draw a picture of the tree. Well, the tree has a shadow. So let's say it says my height is about 60 inches. So that's going to be 60. And my shadow is 42 inches. That's going to be 42. And then it says the tree's shadow is 504 inches. And so I want to know how tall is the tree. So let's see. I'm going to say, I'm going to do my height. I'm going to do the height, and I'm going to do the shadow. And I'm talking about two different things. So what are the two things I'm talking about? I'm talking about me and a tree. So my height is 60 inches. And my shadow is 42 inches. The tree's height, I don't know what the tree's height is, so I'm going to call that x inches. And the shadow is 504 inches. So once again, now that we're here, I'm going to cross multiply. 42 times x is 42x. 60 times 504 is going to be, let's see, 2. Let's see. I think it's going to be, well, instead of, let me just double check my math on the calculator, which I should have had pulled up. 504 times 60. 30,000. It was 30,024. Just wanted to double check. Hate to do something wrong. And then we are going to divide by 42. And when I do that, I get x equals 720 inches. And that's it. 720 times 42. Oops. Should be, okay, great. So now those are two quick examples of how to do this. Now I'm going to do one more, and this one's a little bit trickier. So it says right now the exchange rate for US dollars to Namibian dollars was 1 US to $17.10 Namibian dollars. All right. So if I went to Namibia and I bought, and I were to get some Namibian dollars, every US dollar would get me $17.10 Namibian. Now, let's say I went from Namibia to Mozambique. The exchange rate is 1 Namibian dollar to 3.73 Medi-Cal, which is the Mozambique exchange rate. So the question is, let's say I had 500 US and I was going to fly to Namibia and exchange it. And then let's say for some reason I didn't spend any of my money, and then I went to Mozambique and I exchanged it again. So I need to go from US to Namibian, and then from Namibian, oops, what is going on here? Namibian to Mozambique. So let's see, how would I do this? Well, I know the exchange rate is 1 US is $17.10 Namibian. And how much money do I have? Well, right now I have 500 US. So what's that worth in Namibian dollars? Well, once again, all we're going to do is we're going to cross multiply. I'm going to multiply 1 times x and get x. That's pretty easy. Now I'm going to multiply 500 times $17.10. Oh, why? Oh, 500. Oh, let's see. 500 times $17.10 gives me 8,550 Namibian dollars. Now remember, the question was how much money would I have in Mozambique money, which is called Medi-Cal. So now I have 8,550 Namibian dollars, right? And I want to know how much money that would be in Medi-Cal. Well, I know the exchange rate is 1 Namibian is equal to 3.73 Medi-Cal. And the key thing here is this. You can see I keep, as long as you keep putting your labels, it's pretty hard to mess this up. As long as your labels are always in the right spot, it's hard to mess this up. So 1 times x is x. 8,550 times 3.73 is, say, 8,550 times 3.73 is 31,891.50. And I shouldn't put down dollars because it's not dollars, it is Medi-Cal. So what this means is if I had 500 US, it's equal to $31,891.50. Now, Medi-Cal. The other nice thing is I can now do, if I really want to, and I don't have to do this, but I'm going to do, I'm going to take $31,891.50 Medi-Cal, and I'm going to divide that by 500 US, and you're going to see why in a second. When I take that number and I divide by 500, I get 63.783 over 1. So what this number is this is Medi-Cal, and this is US dollars. So that means every US, it's $63, or 63.783 Medi-Cal for every 1 US dollar. That's what you can do with this. So I hope this helps. I hope the last example wasn't too confusing. If it was, just worry about the first two. Good luck.